to our members and a few other members who have just come in. I start once again with the Honorable Julius from Rwampara. Stand up for recognition, please. We also have Honorable Mshemeza from Shema. We have Honorable Kajrenje from Nyabushozi. We have Honorable Jennifer Muhesi from Kazo. We have Honorable More from Rwampara. Thank you, honorable colleagues who have turned up today. And yesterday, we had Honorable Naomi Chivaju, who had to leave because of some other meetings. And I want to take this opportunity to apologize to one member of parliament. I've just seen it on our social media of Great Ankole, I'm told, who was bounced at the entrance, Honorable Mbwa Tekama. And I will investigate that, but we apologize for that incident and what could have caused it. Our chief guest before us, we have, I'll start with the youth. We have students from vocational institutions, tertiary institutions, universities, and if I can request all the students who are here, stand up for recognition. In our conversation, our chief guest, we said we cannot have any discussion to develop Great Ankole unless we have the core, we have the future of Great Ankole, and that's why we deliberately invited them to attend this discussion. Our chief guests, we have farmers from different districts of the 13 districts, from different sectors, in different myoga, and please, all the farmers, commercial people, put up your hands for recognition. Thank you. And our chief guest, we have the academia, professors. I can see the Vice Chancellor of Bishop Stewart University, stand up for recognition. And any other lecturers, Reverend Mkundane and others, put up your hands. Our chief guest, we have entrepreneurs. We have entrepreneurs who are here. Dr. Kazire yesterday we nearly gave him, but I think we gave him a standing ovation. He gave a very good presentation about entrepreneurship. I don't know whether Mr. Barja is around. Agre, yeah, he's Mr. Aparo Barja, Agre of Adit, Kafoko. Yeah, we were with them yesterday. And this is a representation of the business people we have. We have other leaders from the faith-based institutions. We have Father Kasapuri here with us. We have the representation of His Grace, the Archbishop Lambert, and I request Father you stand up for recognition. Our chief guest, we have the people behind this symposium. UDB, OWC. I start with UDB. UDB staff and management, put up your hands. They are there. And we had even Mr. Tumhirwe, the board member, who was here yesterday. We have OWC. The people you see smart in uniforms are behind this symposium. We need to recognize you. Stand up for recognition. I think I have not left out any category of people. If I might have, by any mistake, we have government agencies, URA, URSB, all government agencies are very well represented, Mr. Chief Guest here. We have others who have played one part or another in terms of contributing for this symposium, and I'm sure Patricia will give a summary about that. With those few words, Mr. Chief Guest, You are welcome. You are in the land of honey and milk, Great Ankole. We profiled Great Ankole, and part of your functions this afternoon, we shall request you to launch the Great Ankole coffee book, which we have, which talks about the conversation of Great Ankole, opportunities where people can invest, opportunities where people can visit as tourists, and talking about the population, land size, and the environment. Allow me at this juncture to take this opportunity, and I invite none other than Madame Patricia Jangore, who has been behind this symposium. Madame Patricia.
Thank you, Honorable Mwesigwa. Our chief guest, thank you for honoring our invitation to come. I'll give just very briefly a summary of what has happened here in the last 2 days. First, as UDB, we got involved with investment symposiums when we were invited by the convener of OWC, by the chief coordinator at that point, who was the convener and remains the convener, to be part of the national organizing committee for the first symposium. I think this was West Nile. And we saw it as a very good opportunity that brings together all key actors in government to see how to address some of the challenges we face in the country. We came in to support the sustainability of the symposiums as Uganda Development Bank in partnership with OWC. And that is how we have remained supporting and involving and working with key stakeholders together with OWC to deliver regional investment symposiums. This is the third regional investment symposium, and in our thinking, we would organize one in the Busoga region after Ankole, of course, under the able leadership again of the chairman of National Investment Symposiums, Honorable Robert Rukari. We are happy to note also the recognition of the importance of these symposiums. I know that in the NRM manifesto, it's also identified as one of the key interventions that government can use to, as it's on its journey to get the country to middle income status. For this symposium, the theme that the organizers agreed upon is the contribution of financial innovation to building a intervention in that regard. I did deliver a keynote address on the theme, which is the contribution of financial innovation to building a resilient economy. And here I demonstrated or showed again where we are as an economy. And we discussed or presented why the structure of our economy has not changed over a number of decades. And we also noted what we needed to do to achieve economic resilience, which is really diversifying the economy in terms of increasing productivity, export promotion, import substitution, the need for all actors together to come together to deliver this mandate, because no one institution can do it alone. And I think this reemphasizes the issue that we've been having even in government of working in silos because I think we demonstrated that the task ahead is huge and everyone needs to do what they have to do well as we work together to arrive at a resilient economy that we are looking at. We also presented and discussed the role of financing, on the role of finance, and this is where UDB comes in and other financial sector players in the country, and demonstrated some of the innovative funding or financing mechanisms that we can adopt to kind of unlock credit and capital to support businesses so that businesses can grow and we realize the economic impact that we want in terms of increased savings, increased private sector growth to GDP ratio, a diversified economy, increased productivity, among others. This was followed by a panel discussion, which was moderated by none other than Mr. Robert Kabushenga, and we had Dr. Pamela Mbabazi, the chairperson of National Planning Authority, talking about the opportunities that government has put in place to support this entire ecosystem. We had Ms. Geraldine Sali, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Trade and Industry, talking about the industrial linkages. And then we had Dr. Kazire, a researcher and entrepreneur in this region, working with the community, among others, to present the role of the community. Where does the community fall in this? The forum drew a lot of participation from government, honorable members of parliament who have been here with us for 2 days, government agencies and MDAs, some have been mentioned, NADS, UCDA, URA, URSB, UIA, NARO, Bank of Uganda, among others. We've had the private sector, business community who have been here, identified from across the 13 districts of Ankole sub-region. A number of them are exhibiting and showcasing their products, and it's also an opportunity to link them to markets, and I have seen that going on where our people are being linked to markets, to producers, basically to support what they are doing, and of course, identifying and showing them the funding opportunities that we ourselves as UDB can provide across every actor in their value chain. Today, we made again several presentations where UDB presented in detail their product offering and how they can support the private sector using different financial and non-financial products. And then we had presentations from other government agencies also trying to see how government is providing an enabling environment, incentives to try and support the private sector to do business. We have, as UDB, also identified a number of interventions and partnerships and business prospects and opportunities that we can work around, follow up on. And today, we will be signing about 6 memorandum of understandings with different groups to kind of start communication, engagement, where we want to deliver together with them some of the key transformational projects in this region. Some of those include Kazire Health Products, Bishop Stewart University, Mbarara University of Science and Technology, Ankole Diocese, GBK. We basically identify where there are opportunities for high impact, but this is just the beginning. And I'm also happy to note that so far at our exhibition place, we have registered prospects just in the 2 days from the people who have come of funding opportunities worth 120 billion. So people have already expressed to us their funding needs, so far totaling 120 billion in these 2 days. But like I mentioned, this is just at the start. We will continue working and engaging with the district commercial officers, local government, business community in the region, and basically all stakeholders to see that we can increase our interventions. I think from where I sit, from the forums and symposiums that we have been organizing. I consider this one of the successful ones because of the prospects, the practical initiatives, activities, and we'll be happy to provide progressive reports in terms of what has been the actual impact of this symposium in Ankole sub-region. Once again, our chief guest, we thank you for honoring our invitation. And at this juncture, I would like to invite Dr. Pamela Mbabazi, the chairperson of National Planning Authority, to invite you to come and address the audience and also close the symposium. Thank you.
My Lord Bishop, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to take this opportunity to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Ramadan Ngobi, who is our permanent secretary and secretary to Treasury in the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Dr. Ramadan Ngobi is here in his capacity representing His Excellency the President, but he's also one of Uganda's most distinguished economists and has been an ardent supporter and champion of the program approach that can enable us together working in government to ensure that we work together to transform this economy. So join me, ladies and gentlemen, to put our hands together in welcoming Dr. Ramadan Ngobi to come and speak to us.
My Lord the Bishop of Ankole Diocese, the honorable members of Parliament from Great Ankole, led by Honorable Robert Mwesigwa, and also I know all of them. We have interacted severally. I'm glad to be in your area. The